So for today, I wanted to talk to you about Hecate, the ancient goddess of magic, crossroads, liminality, and transformation. Among the pantheon of deities that have captivated the ancient and modern mind alike, few possess the enigmatic allure and enduring relevance of Hecate. Revered as a goddess of magic, the moon, the night, the ghosts, necromancy, and the crossroads, Hecate occupies a unique and often misunderstood position within the Greek mythological tradition. More than a mere patroness of sorcery, she embodies the power and perils of liminality, the spaces in between, the thresholds of existence, and even the moments of choice that ultimately define our destinies. Hecate's legacy has traversed millennia, her image evolving from the mysterious mistress of the night in ancient Thrace to Anatolia to a central figure in modern witchcraft, Wicca, and contemporary spiritual movements. She stands at the crossroads, both literally and metaphorically. She is a guide through the darkness, a harbinger of transformation, and a keeper of sacred mysteries. This video will journey through the origins, her backstory, and symbolism behind Hecate, exploring her world, exploring her role in ancient rites and daily lives, tracing her syncretism and transformation across multiple cultures and centuries, and reflecting on her resurgence as a figure of empowerment, divine wisdom, spiritual guidance, and of course, the modern era. So let's go back to Anatolia, Thrace, and beyond. Hecate's origins predate her adoption into the Greek Hellenic pantheon. Evidence suggests that she may have been first worshipped in what is now modern-day Turkey, Anatolia, particularly among the Carians and the peoples of Thrace. Some scholars traced her earliest representations to the ancient mother goddess traditions of pre-Greek civilizations, chthonic, powerful, and deeply associated with the earth's fertility and cycles of life and death. So what is she? In the Greek genealogy, is she a unique deity, or was she a titan? Well, if you read Hesiod's Theogony, one of the primary sources for many Greek stories about the gods, Hecate is described as the only child of Titans Perseus and Asteria, herself the star goddess and sister of Leto, the mother of Apollo and Artemis. This parentage confers upon Hecate a very unique status among Olympians, for she is a Titaness, but unlike most of her kind, she was not overthrown or exterminated by Zeus. Instead, Zeus honors her and empowers her. For to this day, whenever anyone of the men on earth offers rich sacrifices and prays for favor, according to custom, he calls upon Hecate. Great honor comes full easily to him whose prayers the goddess receives favorably, and she bestows wealth upon him, for the power surely is with her. Theogony, lines 411 to 452. This lineage and favor from Zeus place Hecate in this liminal position, not wholly Olympian, but not wholly chthonic either, and she straddles the realms of above and below, light and darkness, earth and spirit. So let's go into her triadic nature. Early depictions of Hecate often present her as a single figure, a single form, but over time she becomes very increasingly associated with three forms, or triple forms, sometimes a trinity of maid, mother, and crone, sometimes a goddess with three faces, or three bodies. This triadic symbolism connects her to the three-way crossroads and to the concept of threshold guardianship over birth, life, and death. So let's talk about the symbolism, her being the keeper of crossroads. Perhaps the most enduring aspect of Hecate's mythology is her role as a guardian of crossroads. In ancient Greece, crossroads were seen as places of uncertainty and potential. Junctions where one must choose a path, each with unknown consequences. Hecate, as the trivia, which is Latin for three ways, presided over these spaces, offering protection and insight, but also testing travelers' resolve and wisdom. In this role, she is invoked at times of transition, literal and metaphorical. Her presence is called upon at the boundaries between night and day, life and death, childhood and adulthood, ignorance and understanding. What about her role as the mistress of the moon, or the mistress of magic? Well, she's universally regarded as a goddess of magic from Hecate, witchcraft, and the moon. Her knowledge of the mystical arts is unparalleled. In myth, she's often the teacher or enabler of sorceresses, most notably Medea or Circe. She governs the herbal arts, the knowledge of poisonous and healing plants, and the rituals of necromancy and prophecy. As a lunar goddess, she's sometimes conflated with Selene and Artemis, but her association with the moon is far more mysterious. She's linked to the dark moon, the new moon, and phases when the moon is hidden, symbolizing her dominion over the unseen and the occult. Now, what about her role as a psychopomp? And that also includes up to her being a guardian of the dead. Well, Hecate's Cathonic Associations run deep. She is a psychopomp, which means she guides souls through the realm of Hades. In this respect, she's a companion to Persephone during her early descent and ascent from the underworld, a role that marks her as a mediator between life and death. Her torches are said to illuminate the path through the darkness for lost or wandering souls. Being the goddess of liminality as well as transformation, above all, Hecate embodies the in-betweenness that defines thresholds as well as transformation. She's invoked during rites of passage, moments of crisis, and the turning points of the seasons and the moon. Her presence is felt when the old must be relinquished and when the new must be embraced. This guides initiates through spiritual and personal metamorphosis. What about sacred symbols in terms of her appearing in art? Hecate's imagery is complex and varied. In a single form in early art, she's shown as a solemn woman, sometimes holding torches or a key. But in her triadic roles as a triple goddess, this is by the classical and Hellenistic eras, Hecate is depicted as a three-bodied or three-faced, standing back-to-back, sort of triple threat, right? Guarding the crossroads. This form is prevalent in even the Roman representations, which borrow from the Hellenistic traditions. Primary symbols include torches, illumination, guidance, keys, opening secrets and portals, daggers, serpents, and sometimes even a rope or scourge. She's often accompanied by dogs, particularly black hounds, and by owls, ghosts, and spirits. In terms of the animals that are sacred to her, dogs are clearly Hecate's sacred animals, particularly those that roam at night. In antiquity, it was believed that the howling of the dogs at the crossroads signaled her presence. Black dogs were sometimes sacrificed to her, a ritual act both feared but also respected. Offerings to Hecate, known as Hecate's suppers, were placed at crossroads on the new moon. These typically consisted of eggs, fish, bread, cakes, and honey, foods that both nourished the living and appeased the dead. Let's go into her role as an alchemist or herbologist. As a goddess of witchcraft, Hecate is intimately associated with potent herbs and plants, especially those with magical, medicinal, or poisonous properties. Nightshade much? Yew, garlic, mandrake, hemlock, and black poplar are among her sacred botanicals. What about the ancient Greek rites that were associated with her? Well, Hecate's worship was not part of the official state cults, but it did belong to the realm of household and mystery rites. At household doorways and crossroads, small statues called Hecatea were erected, and libations or offerings were left to curry her favor as well as her protection. She was invoked in times of sickness, childbirth, and misfortune, but also for wisdom and transformation. Hecate is also closely linked with the Eleusinian mysteries, rituals celebrating the myth of Demeter, as well as Persephone, and the cyclical nature of life and death. In these rites, Hecate plays the role of torchbearer and guide, aiding Demeter in her search for Persephone and facilitating the initiate's journey into hidden knowledge. The Orphic and Pythagorean traditions also honored Hecate as a mediator between the realms and a keeper of arcane wisdom. Now, within the belief of popular magic and folk belief, she was treated beyond formal worship. She was a byword for all things magical and occult. In papyri and magical texts from Egypt and the Hellenistic world, she's invoked for spells of protection, healing, curse-breaking, and divination. Her liminality allowed her to act as a bridge between the world of the living and the powers that lay beyond. So now let's get into the syncretism that we mentioned earlier but haven't necessarily got a chance to get to. Now, Hecate's triadic form connects her to other ancient triple goddesses. In Rome, she's known as Trivia, which is the guardian of the three-way crossroads, and is associated with Diana and Luna in triple moon goddess worship. In Egypt, she was sometimes syncretized with Isis or Selene. In the Celtic world, some scholars linked her with goddesses such as Morrigan or Bridget, who similarly embody aspects of war, wisdom, or liminality. Now, the Christian world did not receive her so well, and she was in fact demonized there, because with the rise of Christianity, Hecate's image, like that of many pagan deities, was really demonized. She was recast as a figure of sorcery, witchcraft, and evil, often associated with the queen of witches or consort to demons. Medieval folklore absorbed Hecate into tales of spectral hounds, ghostly women at crossroads, and nocturnal witches' sabbaths. Yet, even as her cult faded from the mainstream view, her presence persisted in folk practices and esoteric traditions, and this was a shadowy reminder of the old goddess's enduring power. What about modern-day spirituality? Well, in Wicca and contemporary paganism, she is on top. In the 20th and 21st centuries, Hecate has enjoyed a remarkable revival. Modern witchcraft traditions such as Wicca and various branches of neo-paganism have reclaimed her as a patroness of magic, transformation, and feminine power. I guess Hecate would say, reclaiming my time. When we think about the early figures of the Wiccan movement, they invoke Hecate as the crone aspect of the triple goddess, maiden, mother, and crone. And these were to embody wisdom, endings, and the dark moon. Hecate is honored in rituals of initiation, protection, divination, as well as spiritual growth. She is not seen as a sinister figure, but as a wise teacher who guides practitioners through shadow work, personal growth, and the mysteries of the unseen. What about within feminism and empowerment? Well, Hecate's contemporary appeal lies in her embrace of ambiguity plus liminality. She's a goddess who refuses to be confined. She's neither wholly good nor wholly evil. She's neither light nor dark. She encompasses the totality of the human experience. For many, she represents the reclamation of feminine power, especially the aspects of womanhood that have been historically repressed, marginalized, or feared. She is a symbol of wisdom, autonomy, sexuality, rage, and healing. She is invoked in the rituals of empowerment, self-discovery, and boundary setting. Her torches light the way through uncertainty and transformation. Her keys unlock doors to new possibilities. Within the literature, in the pop culture, Hecate's imagery appears in countless works of modern art, literature, and media. From William Shakespeare's Macbeth, where she presides as the Queen of Witches, to contemporary novels, television, and music, Hecate endures as an icon of the magical, mysterious, and subversive feminine. Her symbolism is often used to explore themes of transformation, the shadow self, and the journey through darkness to enlightenment. What about her esoteric teachings? Well, the first would be liminal wisdom, which is the power of the in-between. At the core of Hecate's mythos is the wisdom of the liminal, the understanding that growth and transformation occur in the spaces between in moments of uncertainty, crisis, or change. She teaches that every crossroads is a sacred opportunity. Every ending is a new beginning. Her devotees learn to embrace uncertainty, to trust the process of becoming, and to navigate darkness with courage and grace. In terms of the shadow work and integration she preaches of, because she is the goddess of the shadow, the hidden, the repressed, or feared aspects of our psyche, to follow her is to undertake the work of integration, to reclaim lost or denied parts of the self. Her rituals often involve facing fears, healing old wounds, and transforming pain into power. As a torchbearer, she lights the path for the unconscious, guiding seekers towards their destiny of wholeness and authenticity. In terms of the magic mysteries as well as her sovereignty, she is indeed the reigning queen of magic. She imparts the secrets of sovereignty over one's life, destiny, and spiritual growth. She encourages practitioners to develop intuition, mastery of the mystical arts, as well as the courage to shape their own fate. Through her keys, she is opening doors to deeper knowledge. Through her crossroads, she's offering the freedom to choose one's path. And so, in conclusion, we are left with Hecate's legacy. She endures because she is the goddess of transformation, of the in-between spaces, of the moments of choice, of the mysteries that lie beyond the known. She is the guide at the crossroads. She is the keeper of the keys. She is the mistress of the magic, and she is the wise crone who sees in darkness what others cannot. Her mythology and symbolism speak to the timeless human experience of uncertainty, change, and rebirth. In a world marked by complexity, upheaval, and the constant need to choose, Hecate's presence is now vital more than ever. She reminds us that the path forward is often shrouded in shadow, but that within the darkness lies potential for illumination, growth, and empowerment. As we stand at our own crossroads, whether spiritual, personal, or collective, may we invoke Hecate's wisdom to embrace the unknown, to honor the cycles of life, and to reclaim the power within the shadows, and to walk boldly towards the transformation that truly awaits us. So be mindful that all in all, when we think about what Hecate can do for us, we realize that she's all about seeing into the hidden realm. She's all about detecting the things that are not easy to see. She is all about learning to close your eyes, but yet to receive all the more knowledge. And if I don't see you, just remember, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.